Foxmask. Although we got a brief look at him in some of the early trailers teasing the game, it's not until you really get in and play it that we finally get a good look at him and uncover his story. And as it turns out, he's rather integral to the story of Silent Hill F. In fact, this game wouldn't exist without him. But who is this handsome masked fellow? How is he controlling the events of the game, and what is it that he truly wants? Let's find out. Hinako first encounters Foxmask in the Dark Shrine. He finds her as she's panicking and about to pass out, and then she's in his arms. His voice is gentle, as are his words and demeanor. Despite wearing a fox mask and having glowing eyes, he appears to be a friend, and one incredibly concerned about her at that. We see him wearing a white formal kimono, the type you might see men wearing during their wedding. And on that, we can also see his family crest, the kudzu plant. A plant that is currently covering much of Ebisugaoka now that everything has gone to hell. A plant that plays a huge role in the game to come. Interesting. Foxmask then takes on a guidance role, leading Hinako through the Dark Shrine, although he frequently disappears and leaves her to fend for herself. In her journal, Hinako tells us, "He never takes it, his mask, off, so I feel I have yet to see his true self. He has such a refined air about him. I think he must come from a very well-off family." And as it turns out, he's wearing his formal kimono for good reason. He is indeed about to get married. To Hinako, no less. And she's about to go through a series of trials to abandon her old life and prove that she is ready to start anew with him. Her journal entries on him even change, stating, "I don't have to think about anything anymore. As long as I do what he tells me, I know I will be happy." He has promised her endless love, a high status in his wealthy and important family, and she'll never want for anything. What's not to like? And Hinako, for her part, does her best to abandon her former life for him, killing her friends and going through some pretty significant body horror as she attempts to transform into the perfect wife for him, cutting off her own arm and face and replacing them with fox parts, and allowing herself to be literally branded with Foxmask's family crest. But Hinako is a conflicted soul, which is kind of the entire point of the game. There is a part of her that wants to give herself wholly to this man in the mask, but there's also another part of her that thinks this is the worst possible thing that could happen to her. Depending on the ending you get, Hinako might end up marrying Foxmask, or running away, or maybe just carrying out a massacre at their wedding. These things just kinda happen, you know? But through getting all the endings, and especially the true one, we finally find out who Foxmask is, what he wants, and how he relates to Hinako. Foxmask is actually Tsuneki Kotoyuki. The Tsuneki family are one of, if not the wealthiest family around these parts, and it would seem that whenever something bad happens, their family grows all the more richer for it. Kotoyuki's father was the heir to this noble, wealthy family, but his mother was Sachie, a young housemaid. When the time came for Kotoyuki's father to marry, well, despite his supposed love for her, he dropped Sachie like a sack of potatoes, leaving her and their then unborn child abandoned. This bastard child couldn't ruin his upcoming marriage to a noblewoman, after all. Although she was sent away, Sachie ended up giving birth to a healthy baby boy, who she named Kotoyuki. He grew up in Ebisugaoka, and although they were poor, Sachie did her best to raise him as the son of a noble family, trying to instill good morals in him, and urging him to make careful choices regarding his friends, even as a young boy. She believed him to be different to others because of the Tsuneki blood in his veins. And she wasn't wrong. It is told that those of the Tsuneki lineage are destined to bring good fortune when the world is in disorder, Sachie wrote in a letter to young Kotoyuki. The same thing happened to his father, and she believes the same will happen to him. But when Kotoyuki was 9, he was attacked by a fox that wandered into the village. A young Hinako found and tried to take care of him, and the fox, until some adults showed up and he was rushed to see a doctor. His old medical record tells us that he fell unconscious and had a fever of over 40 degrees. He was transferred to a prefectural hospital, but they found nothing wrong with him, and the next day he was sent home. However, his mother reported that after that incident, Kotoyuki was an entirely different boy. And again, she was right. Considering Ebisugaoka's close ties to foxes, thanks to the Inari faith, there had also long been rumours of supposed fox possessions. And when Kotoyuki was bitten as a young boy, he was indeed possessed. His father's family, the Tsunekis, had long been under the fox's curse, and they believed that if their family was to fall, so would Ebisugaoka. And so, when Kotoyuki's father and his wife died shortly thereafter, Kotoyuki's grandfather summoned him back to become the new heir. And by the time he went back, he was already possessed by the fox of the town's Inari faith, thanks to that bite. And this fox had but one goal in mind: marry the child born with blessed blood, keep the Fox clan going, and use that power to keep the water dragon at bay. If they didn't, then Ebisugaoka would fall into ruin. This is the fox's curse that the Tsuneki family is beholden to. While it is the curse and the possession that drives Kotoyuki to want to marry Hinako, this generation's divine child with blessed blood, there is a part of him that does genuinely seem to love her and want the best for her. It's not necessarily an act when he tells her throughout the game that he will protect her and give her the best life imaginable. Unfortunately for him, however, Hinako's upbringing and experiences left her deathly afraid of marriage, and combined with other forces at work in the village, including some mind-altering substances, well, the fox has its work cut out for it in actually getting Hinako to willingly go through with the marriage. After Hinako defeats the divine forces at work in Ebisugaoka, Kotoyuki is finally freed of both the fox's curse and the fox's possession. He is, perhaps for the first time ever, able to be his own man. He and Hinako decide to part ways and see if what they both feel for each other is actually real, and not simply influenced by the divine. While away finding himself, Kotoyuki sends Hinako a letter, informing her that he is trying to follow in her footsteps and simply enjoy life. He's even eating cheap snacks, something he wasn't allowed to do as a child. I intend to become reacquainted with my inner child, discover my own dreams, and live life to the fullest, he tells her. And once I have done so, I hope to reevaluate my feelings for you. And that is the story of Tsuneki Kotoyuki, aka Fox Mask. But what did you guys think of this one? Are there any other topics or characters from Silent Hill F that you'd like me to explore? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.